Today I'm sharing with you everything about my Manifest Like Lauren ebook. I wrote a book. I can't believe it. Hi, my name is Lauren O'Connell and I am the beauty editor at Cosmopolitan Middle East magazine. I am also the creator behind my personal Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and website planetlauren.com. And I am the writer, the author of my first ever ebook. This is called Manifest Like Lauren, and it is a 30-page book that is just so fun to read. And we actually are all manifestors. We just might not know it. For me, I really didn't know I was a manifester because I didn't grow up in the type of family that talked about things like manifesting. I had no idea what that was, honestly, until when I was around the age of 35, I had this spiritual awakening to all of these wonderful facets of me that I had forgotten. And one of them was my manifesting abilities. I actually always did manifest. We all do, whether we realize it or not. If you're having a bad day and you just continually think bad thoughts, then you know that the chances of you stepping into that puddle or dropping your dinner on the floor or whatever else is likely to happen. But when you're in a good mood and you feel like you just have great energy, good things are happening, then all of a sudden it just seems like all these good things start to flood in. I think though, for a lot of us, we get nervous, like when all these good things are happening, you think, oh, what's bad? What bad thing is about to come? And I think that can honestly be attributed to the way a lot of us were raised. At least it is for me. So growing up, my mom always told me I was a witch. And she didn't say that in a mean way, but I was just a very intuitive child. For example, I remember one night, I'll never forget this. She had watched this show about this girl who actually grew up very close to me in the town over, and the girl had gone missing. Her name's Maura something. I can't remember her last name. She was in Massachusetts at the time when she went missing. She's from Connecticut, like I am. And my mom had watched this whole documentary on this poor girl who had gone missing. And I was in bed at the time sleeping, and I did not watch the documentary with her. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know that there was a girl named Maura who went missing. I knew nothing. Anyways, that morning, I woke up in bed and I just kept thinking of the name Maura. Now, that is not a name I hear ever. When I was in high school, I went to sort of one of those preppy high schools. And I do remember there were a few girls named Maura in my high school, but they weren't in my particular class, so I didn't know who they were. But that was the only time I had ever heard that name. Anyways, I'm laying in bed thinking about this name, Maura. And I go downstairs and my mom's making coffee. My mom is one of those people, she goes to bed really late and she always wakes up super early. And I said to my mom, I just can't stop thinking about the name Maura. And I remember my mom screamed and her coffee was sloshing in her coffee cup. And she's like, stop it. Stop it. Oh my gosh, you're scaring me. Stop. And these are like the witchy things she said I'd always do. I just picked up on things, and we actually all can do this. It's just, I was always more tuned in. I was more conscious, I would say, from the time I was a child. Well, when I was 35 years old, it was like the universe just gave me a good slap across the face and woke me up to who I really am. And if you've had a spiritual awakening, you know what I'm talking about. If not, that's okay. Just keep listening. All of a sudden, I was seeing angel numbers everywhere, the repeated numbers like 222, 333, 444. I saw the number 22 and 222 probably 50 times a day. I still do. And I just felt like the universe was starting to communicate with me a little bit. I am an inquisitive person. I'm a Scorpio. I'm always looking for deeper meanings. And so I just started kind of following it. I was following these little breadcrumbs I felt like that were left for me. And it's taken me on an incredible journey. I've met so many people, and it's completely reshifted the way I think and look at life. It's reshifted everything about me in so many better ways. My life is so much better now than it was 5 years ago. I'm a better person. I feel like I'm actually me now. Like I remembered who I was. Anyways, I learned about manifesting, and I realized I was always unconsciously manifesting. For example, I had put in notes on my iPhone probably when I was 30, just a list of places I wanted to travel to. And, I wanted to see Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. I wanted to go to Tokyo. I wanted to travel to Malaysia. I wanted to just do lots of different trips. At that time, I wasn't working and I was just I had my 2 children. They were both very small and we were just in a different place in life and we were in a traveling place in life and I just wanted to travel. And I didn't realize it, but I had actually manifested, like I had made a manifestation list. And little by little, I traveled to every single one of the countries that was on my list. And I had about 15 countries on there. And so I was just manifesting. And the thing is, I never knew how these trips would come to me, but they always found me in one way or another. Actually, I just went to Singapore last week. I just came back. And when I was in Singapore, I completely manifested that one as well. It was a place I had wanted to travel to for quite some time. And I knew I would get there when the opportunity presented itself. And then it did. And I went to Singapore and it was awesome. I went to Bali earlier this year. Once again, it was a last minute trip. I never create these trips. They just find me. So aside from trips though, just more importantly, I just learned that I could start to consciously co-create with the universe. I could consciously start manifesting. And so I did. And I have just become this master manifester to the point where I will think of something. I will think to myself, gosh, I really could use a new perfume, for example. And before I know it, within 10 minutes, my doorbell rings and there's a delivery with a perfume in it. Or I want a bouquet of flowers for my house. I just think, oh gosh, the kitchen needs a bouquet. I'll just have this fleeting thought as I'm going into the kitchen to make a cup of tea or whatever. And then all of a sudden, doorbell rings and there's a bouquet and it had been delivered to me just as like a thinking about you gift from a friend. That has happened to me too. I have been able to manifest incredible things in my career. The other night I was thinking to myself, I started writing down a manifestation list. And I wanted to get involved with this certain foundation. It's a foundation that is focused on children. I wrote that on my notes app around probably 10 a.m. At 2, I got a phone call to ask me if I wanted to go on a special boat party that night. I live in Dubai. And it was with all people from that foundation. I mean, how does this happen? I was actually on the boat. There was only 30 people on the boat. And one of them was Wyclef, the singer from the Fugees. And there was also the creator of Mind Valley, which is a big meditation app. And so many other influential people. So, I'm able to bring these things into my life. And I work really hard. But because my hard work meets what I want and they kind of meet halfway, and then just all these doors open up for me. There's this Indian actress. She and I look so similar. She's like the Indian version of me. It's uncanny. And I have reached out to her a few times. I have a lot of girlfriends who are Indian and they are fans of this actress and they always are constantly sending me photos of her. They're like, you look just like her. So I reached out to her just to say hello and she never responded. And, I reached out maybe like 2 or 3 times. And then I was just at Zara one night with my daughter and we were at the Dubai Mall. It was on a Friday night. At any time at the Dubai Mall on a Friday night, there's probably 200,000 people in the mall. And I would say 40,000 of those people are in Zara. The Zara is massive. Anyways, my daughter and I were in Zara and she was shopping for some new stuff, some crop tops. Now that she's a teenager, she loves to wear her crop tops. And I was standing in line and I looked behind me and that actress was standing directly behind me. Do you know what the chances are? She doesn't even live in Dubai. She lives in India. Do you know, honestly, if you were to calculate the chances of that happening down to the percentage, it would be nil. It would be like a negative. And there she was. I totally manifested her. So what I did was at the encouragement of, actually I got inspired to do this when I was in Bali. is I thought to myself, I have this incredible gift, but it's a gift that we all have. And it is just this ability to manifest what we want in our lives. We all want different things, and it is our birthright to be able to live the life we want, to have the life we want, and to enjoy life. It is our birthright. It's our divine birthright. So because I never knew how to manifest growing up, I never had these phrases, these words in my life, and I know a lot of other people don't as well. So I wrote a book on it. I wrote a book on exactly what it is, how to use it, why to use it, and I wrote my specific formula because my formula works so well. I have manifested literally everything I've ever wanted. I have manifested, and I have many more manifestations I'm constantly writing down, and sometimes they come faster than I can even manage. I can even believe. So I wrote the book. It's 30 pages. It's fun to read. It's in my style of writing, which is a very fun, it'll make you laugh a few times, and it has the formula. You can use it, you can follow it, and your best life is literally, it sounds so cheesy to say it, but it's a click away. All you have to do is click and order the book. The book is 30 pages, it's $29. So it's not, I'm not charging $1 million for it. So I think that you're just going to love it, and you can go down into my description box to find the book. It's called Manifest Like Lauren, and I wish you the very best in your manifesting journey.